Hi, and welcome to the October episode of Corner Office. I'm Ryan Malyar, Executive Director here at WMCT-TV, and I'm so thrilled, as always, to be joined by Mayor Arthur Vigeant. How's it going, Mayor?
Fantastic.
That is what I wanted to hear. We've got some awesome stuff happening in the city.
It's been a busy time.
It really has. Let's rewind a little bit. We had the 71st Labor Day Parade. What a success.
It was a nice, beautiful, very, very hot day.
It was hot.
But Melanie Whapham just knocked it out of the park with this one. We had the mummers there that did a great job. They did a concert for us a couple nights before the parade.
They're wild, the costumes and everything. It's
they were roasting in those things. Because when they did the concert, they explained that they have those suits that are really made for being cold. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they were sweating a little bit on those. But it was a great parade. Thank everyone that showed up and everyone that participated, but Melanie did a fantastic job again.
And having worked with Melanie on the parade committee, I just got to shout out to you and everyone involved, because I know how much hard work it really takes to get this going. So thank you, Melanie. She's a gem.
Yep, absolutely.
Yesterday, the library had its grand reopening.
About time. It's been a long time waiting. The place looks beautiful. I mean, they did such a great job up there. You know, many of the city councilors were there. The state came down. State reps and state senator was there. And by the time I got there was a line of people looking to get into the library to take a look at it, because we said we were going to open right after the ribbon cutting. So they did a great job. They really did. They're still trying to raise a little bit more money with the foundation. They've done well over $1.5 million at this point. And if you do make a contribution, they will split it out over a couple of years for you. So,
you don't have to do it all at once?
No. So if you do one of those, they're trying to get 1,000 people to do $1,000, but they could spread it out over a couple, 3, 4 years. So it's not a lot every year, but obviously it's filling in those areas that we didn't quite fund for some of the finer things in the library. So great. It's going to be a great facility for years and years to come, and so happy we get able to get it open.
It feels so fresh and airy and bright, especially the rooms for the kids and the youth areas are terrific. But I love how they were able to preserve the Carnegie building. Is that what it's called? The Carnegie part of the library? Which, maintaining that historic aspect right there. It's really cool.
He made the donation at the beginning with some of the local folks that had some money back then. But they built this beautiful library. They did a renovation on it. I think it was back in the late 60s. So all that was taken down. And the reason we moved forward is we were getting more and more repairs and leaks and floods and everything else. And it was
at a certain point, you can't put a Band-Aid on it anymore.
It's time. And we had it phased out so we could get the projects done. We wanted to do the senior center, and then the school, and then the library, and then the fire station, and everything was working good, and we got a call that someone else dropped out, so we were next in line. So it came about a year or so early, but we figured it out and got it done.
Great. Now, last time we met, which was in August, I think we were talking about the hotels and the migrants that were coming into Marlboro. Any updates on what's going on there?
It's very fluid. It changes every day. We don't get consistent numbers. We have a weekly report, plus we get notified as more people are coming in, but we have a team together that we update each other on. We talk to the hotels, we talk to the state, we talk to the social service group that's down here, and they all seem to have different numbers. We talked to the superintendent about kids signing up in the schools.
Yeah, were there a lot of new children that were just suddenly...
well, again, we're taking more in now. We're probably around the 40 number.
Okay.
But some are going outside of town, and some haven't even signed up yet. So it's been very difficult. There's about 90 communities right now that are dealing with it in the state. I was at a meeting with the governor the other day, and her and I had a conversation, and she's just about at the end. She said, we've basically used all the resources we have, and we don't know how much longer we can be doing it the way we're doing it. So it's really a Washington issue. our congressional people down in Washington have to address this. I mean, the senators and congressmen and women need to get in a room, come up with a bipartisan plan, and let's get moving. But what's there now, there is nothing slowing this down in Massachusetts, nothing. And the state needs to take a look at this right to shelter. They haven't. It was approved in the 80s, but it wasn't approved for this. The intent was for some of our homeless, and we have more and more of them coming up to my office every week, and there's no program for them. So it's very frustrating that I have local residents that we can't help.
But people that have migrated here are being put into hotels.
Yes,
wow.
With laundry service and medical treatment and food and stipends and everything else, and then people will come out to my office and we work to get them in a program, and sometimes we're successful, and sometimes they show up 3 weeks later and say, I still haven't found anything, I've been sleeping in my car, and winter's coming.
To pivot a little bit, we just got a call at the station from a local person who's struggling with homelessness, wondering what resources are available. And I said you should get in touch with the city councilors and the mayor's office.
Call the mayor's office.
We
try.
Who else can they go to?
Well, for the most part, we'll take the information and send it up to Nilsa, our human services person.
Okay.
She works with SMOC on a daily basis, so they have many, many more resources than we do.
Sure.
But she does such a great job. If there's a program out there, she's going to find it.
She'll find it and get them in.
So we've gotten people in the Roland House, and we've actually got some families into the program the state's running. Single women are a little more difficult. It's very, very limited on the resources they had. It's just, the system needs to be addressed, but we have a housing issue now, and we're taking in 25,000 new residents that are just, they're living in hotels right now in 90 different communities throughout the state.
Right. Pivoting, completely different on the agenda we have here, talking about houses and getting rid of your hazardous waste.
Yeah, we have Hazardous Waste Day in the city here.
Saturday, October 7th, 9 to 12. At 860 Boston Post Road East at the Easterly Wastewater Treatment Facility. Yeah,
no, it's great. They'll have lines of cars down there dropping off stuff that people have been accumulating, for years, paint and chemicals and things like that, household items that may have been sitting around for a long time and people just need to dispose of them. So it's a great opportunity. We get a grant every year for that. So we run that program down there. It's been a number of years now we've been doing that.
So how do you manage that it's only Marlboro residents? You just have to bring your driver's license? Or?
Yeah, we've actually been piggybacking with Hudson for a number of years. So, and I'm not sure if they're doing that this year or not, but I believe so.
Interesting. Our senior citizens are getting a resource fair. What happens there?
Well, it's just an opportunity for seniors to go into a senior center and talk to different organizations, different booths for things they may have needs for. We just did one for energy conservation to see if National Grid can do anything to help out your bills or spread out some payments, or see if there's something you can do with Mass Save to cut down on your electricity use. So we just did one of those last week or the week before. Now we're doing one just for the seniors to talk about senior issues, and we booths all around the senior center to try to help them out.
So everything, we're talking healthcare, lots of different things?
Just general senior issues.
Love it. And it's also great, maybe we'll get some new seniors. If you're watching right now and you haven't been to this beautiful senior center, come on and take advantage of it, because there are so many offerings there. This little meetup is just the icing on top of the cake. There's wonderful programming there all the time.
No, it's fantastic. Trish does a good job over there.
Yeah. The Horribles Parade, one of my favorite days of the year. Main Street gets all decked out for Halloween, and all the goblins and ghouls are running amok.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're just trying to figure out the construction timeline.
Right.
They're promising. They're going to be done in time.
Yeah.
So we're on that every day from now until Halloween or until the parade.
Just rope it off, say it's a poisoned river or something, and no trespassing signs.
Oh, geez, it's so a lot of the merchants will come out and we'll have the middle school band come down Main Street, and it's one of those fun days to get the kids out. Hopefully the weather holds out and it's a decent night. Doesn't have to be hot like this, but a little cooler where the kids can come out and enjoy themselves. And
it's not an all-night thing either. It's not trick-or-treating into the evening. It's 4:30 to 5:30 right on Main Street, and that's it.
At 4:30 to 5:30, and if they stop messing around, the band goes too long or something like that, I've never run out of candy. I've come real close, but I time it, so at 5:30, I'm throwing the last couple handfuls in a bag to somebody.
There you go.
But it's we keep it to that timeline. It's a quick hit. Enjoy the early time with the kids and get back home.
You've got some grandkids. Are they coming?
I'm sure they'll be down here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We got a new one that was just up the library yesterday with me, so that was great.
Awesome. And going on with the fall theme, the rec department's doing that Scarecrow competition again.
Yeah.
And you can call up the rec department, right? They give you the frame,
yeah.
But then they want you to decorate it, and then they put them all up along Union Common.
They'll wrap around Union Common. They'll put them up against the fence there, and it's always fun. Just another addition to, great community event, and we encourage people from the organizations or groups that just want to get together and do it, or individuals that want to do it.
And you just got to go up close to them. If you're driving by, you get a glimpse of them, but they are some really funny characters when you take a look up close.
Some put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah. Okay, switching tones again. I didn't make this rundown here. We're going hot and cold all the time. The preliminary election's coming up.
It is.
4 mayoral candidates. You're not one of them. We're going to miss you. So that's Tuesday, October 10th. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Where are the polls located?
They're on if you go on the city clerk's website, they're all listed there, all different locations, whether it's, the senior center or the middle school, or, they're throughout the city based on the ward. So there's a list there. As long as you know which ward you're in, it'll tell you exactly where to go. If you need to know what ward you're in, you can also ask that when you call the clerk's office.
I imagine it's pretty hard to get voter turnout for a small election like this, so it makes it even more important to just set some time aside to go out there and do your civic duty and vote, right?
No, it's very difficult. It's very difficult in an important race,
right?
And this is important, but it's just a primary. A lot of people don't pay attention to.
Right.
They wait for the final. We have that. We're going to have it with the presidential election, and hopefully we can. We have a lot of good, smart businessmen and women throughout the country, and hopefully we can dig one of those out to be our next president. We have. I'd like to draw 2 more names from what we have going right now. I'm sorry, but I just think we have better candidates than the obvious 2.
You're talking presidential, right?
Presidential, yeah.
You're not slighting our mayoral candidates.
No. The only issue, they had the debate the other night for the local mayor's race, and it was frustrating. I think, as someone from the outside that's never been involved in government at all, you kind of say a lot of things and you throw some mud against the wall to see what sticks, and you almost can get away with stuff. I wish the city councilors would stay a little more informed about some of the comments they made. I think they're being a little liberal with some of the facts. And
are there any particular things that you'd like to clarify?
Well, obviously the West Side Fire Station, keeps coming up.
That's a big point of contention.
Big point of contention, and I put Councilor Dumas on that committee to hopefully be a representative for the council and go back and get it approved. And that didn't happen. He wasn't able to get that done. But we had all public safety professionals on that committee except for him. He was the liaison from the council, and they came up with the report. And although they say I was stonewalling and not getting, things down to them, they held this thing for months without getting it approved. And, it was very frustrating to hear some of this stuff. I wanted the fire station. I still want the fire station. But in the process, and Councilor Dumas was correct in the debate, Their job is not to negotiate. The administration's job is to negotiate. The council is to fund it. And they were putting attachments on and everything else to this order. And it finally did get approved months later, but it wasn't, they wanted to be part of the negotiations, and that wasn't their function. I was trying to negotiate. We were going to have to negotiate with the owner that wasn't excited about selling. We were also negotiating with communities around us because we were looking to do a regional dispatch center there. We were talking to the state about doing a state dispatch center there, so we were talking to them, and we had unions all the way around that we had to negotiate with. So it was going to be a huge process, and I couldn't have them getting in the way of all these processes because the real world doesn't work on the council schedule, you know. So it was frustrating, but I was very clear on what was going to happen if it continued, and it did. I brought different councilors up to my office, several at a time, to say, here are the facts. You know, do what you want. You have the vote, not me, but here are the facts. And some believed me and some didn't. So hopefully the next administration is more successful. The location was chosen by the committee. I can't have lay people deciding the best place to put a fire station. It's something the professionals have to do, our public safety professionals. So that was frustrating. But, you know, like I said, it took months to get that done. But, you know, the other night, again, it was mentioned the library pages are being paid less than the state's minimum wage. I sent that down to the council back in July, and it hasn't been acted on. And you know, I know that some of the committees haven't met a lot. Urban Affairs is backed up for, you know, they have, if they had 3 meetings a week the rest of the year, they wouldn't clean out that.
Wow.
So they'll be carrying over a lot of stuff, I hope. I hope they get it done next year, some of the good things that are in that committee. You know, Legal and Legislative has had things in there, minor things that are part of the operation of the city. Mm-hmm. So it's important to the city, but they're not controversial. They've been sitting, you know, in committee for over 2 months. No action, no meeting, no nothing. And then,
let me ask you this then. If you were running again, what would be some of the main platforms that you would stand on to say, this is what we're doing well, and this is what we need to continue doing going forward? This is what is working.
Well, I like to basically say, I had over 10 great years in the city of getting things done, council cooperating, and we all work together. And you know, as far as the fire station goes, if you look at the things where they jumped on board and had a say and decided to go along with it, you know, we got a senior center, we got a school, we got a library. These are big things.
Huge, you know,
things. Huge things, and it's been great. And I basically say, you know, coming out of COVID, things just changed all the way around, everywhere, not just here. COVID, the council, the city, the residents, the employees, the unions, everyone was great getting through it. It really was. And then after COVID, you know, people are a little agitated, I guess. And it's, like I said, I talked to other mayors, they're going through the same thing with different groups and people. But, you know, the delaying things in committee, I mean, Personnel Committee, Councilor Dumas has had a name that I sent down for the library board back in December of last year. And for no reason, it just hasn't got taken up yet. So, yeah, I'm frustrated. You know, I wish things were going a little smoother right now, but, you know, these things just have to be done. They're not big issue items, not like the fire station. That's a big issue item. A lot of these other things really aren't. You know, the library pages, just get it done. You know, they agree with it, then approve it. You know, it's not, it's just somewhere along the way, they got the rule that legislators don't meet in the summer. Like the state and the federal government, I guess local government come up with the same thing somewhere along the way.
Wow.
Frustrated.
Frustrated, that's the word. Let's end with one more positive thing. Give me anything positive. We could talk about all the free cash that we got this year. Anything you want.
No, I mean, that get, the free cash, obviously it was great. We got $12 million again this
So
year.
explain that to me. That's carryover that wasn't spent the previous
So
year?
it's basically almost what's in your checkbook at the end of the year, to make it real simple. So we set a budget. We set anticipated revenues. Hopefully the revenues are covering your budget. So if we don't spend everything we said we were going to in the budget, there's a gap between the amount that was in the budget and what you actually spent. So that's part of free cash. And the revenues, we set a number. If we get more than that, that's part of free cash.
Okay.
So a lot of it comes from open positions over the year. Backfilling. We have openings in several different departments. And there's a process to hiring those people. We can't just...
It doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't happen like that. It just, you've been through the process, firsthand. But again, police and fire, we have a long process. And I can't hire anyone unless the first person's gone in, like fire or police. Because of the way their contracts are, they could decide the last week, I'm not going to go now.
So it doesn't carry over department to department if there's excess. No. It all just goes back.
Yeah, they all have their individual budgets, but at the end of the year, the total, if I didn't spend everything, it goes into free cash. And the revenues, if we took in more, that goes into free cash. So
and the term is misleading. It's not just free to spend; it's spent on specific things.
So I mean, as far as the city of Marlborough goes, working with the council a few years ago on Council Ossing, we put in some new financial policies. One of them was to take 10% of free cash to go into our stabilization fund, and 10% of free cash to go on our OPEB fund, which is retirement benefits.
Sure.
Which $100 million liability, over $100 million liability, and we're trying to knock it down. Most communities haven't addressed it yet. We're actually trying to address it. So we set up this policy. So as soon as the 12 million came in, 1.2 gets transferred to one, 1.2 gets transferred to the other 10 sits there. Now, we know we're going to have a snow and ice deficit. This year, I assume it's going to be less than prior years because we increased the budget number. So it'll be less than that. So we figure about $2 million.
So that's overhire for plows and buying in salt and sand and all that.
So that other $8 million is available to either leave there to carry over to the next year or to use. What we've been doing is using it for capital purchases and equipment, which is what I wanted to do with the radios. But that aside, I mean, if we did run up against it, and I only, at this point last year, I had $6 million of free cash. After the transfer, they would have had $5 million of free cash. And when I started this job, it was just over $3 million in free cash. In January of, I don't know, 22 AD or something, So when I started, I had a lot less. But, so it's a management issue. It's a financial management issue. But in addition to the free cash, we have over $20 million in stabilization money that sits to the side for an emergency. There's actually about 25 million, but some is actually dedicated to the fire station, some is for open space, some is for downtown, but there's about 20 million that we can use for anything as long as the council agrees to it. And it's for real emergencies.
Right.
Did
you have to dip into any of that during COVID?
No. A lot of communities did. We did not. We like I said, everyone in the city cooperated. We all got on board and kind of maybe did a couple things we didn't want to do. We weren't happy doing, but we did it, and everyone got through it. And so proud of how we came out of COVID. But I don't know what it did. It all got in our systems and changed us all a little bit for as soon as COVID was over.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But hopefully, we get back on track, and whoever the next mayor is, hopefully they build that relationship with the council and can get some of these big things, important things done for the city.
Wonderful. Let's keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much momentum are you starting up new projects?
No, geez, I'm finishing things up. We're trying to do Main Street. Yeah. We got all these street projects that I met with Ted Scott this morning and said, come on, let's wrap some of these up because we only have another 2 months of the season for streets. And we actually started the boardwalk on Lake Williams yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'll have
Some
to check that
deliveries
out.
just came for the boardwalk itself, and so over the next couple months, you'll be seeing it implemented, and it's going to be fantastic. And that's going to be done before I leave. We're going to get the scoreboard up down at the deck hockey so they can use that. So we got a lot of great things happening. The mural is going to be going up on Maple Street by the end of October. So no, I can't slow down yet.
No.
I have another 90 days, and I want to keep going.
Wonderful. Glad to hear it. Thanks for taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the October episode of Corner Office. I'm Ryan. Take care.